And we're back here at Trade Profit Accelerator. This is the planning strategy lesson. I'm super excited about this topic. I love strategy and just teaching about it. So cool. So we're in week 1 here, planning, and this is day 5, last day in week 1. So congratulations on making it this far. And we're going to get into planning strategy today. So here's what we're going to cover. We're going to cover master strategy versus tactical moves. Then we're going to talk about some billionaire power moves, which is super cool. Then some time management secrets. And we're going to come full circle here and talk about measurable progress in a reasonable amount of time. Okay, so back to Jim Rohn's philosophy. Here's what this can do for you. I guarantee if you focus on strategy right now, it can 10x or even 100x your 10-year returns. And it can help you be more consistent too. And you can start to manage your time like a billionaire if you want. Maybe it's not for everybody, but it can definitely save you time, money, headaches, and frustrations as well. So let's get right into master strategy versus tactical moves here. And a lot of the information I'm going to talk about right here is from Chet Holmes' book, The Ultimate Sales Machine. Okay. Don't let the title turn you off, okay? The principles in this book are sound across the board, and we're going to get into them right now. Okay, so Chet worked for over 60 of the Fortune 500 companies as America's top marketing executive, trainer, strategic consultant, and motivation expert. He designed over 500 advertising campaigns and hundreds of sales systems for these companies. Some of these sales resulted in earned fees exceeding $1 million from a single client. And one of the stories in his book just completely had me strategizing in my own business because I wanted to replicate it. It was the best buyer strategy. Maybe you've heard of this before. He was put in charge of one of Charlie Munger's small newspapers to try and put it on the map. And Chet was given 2,200 sources, and his job was to cold call these businesses. But being the strategist that he was, he narrowed down the list to just 167 of what he called the best buyers. And he began sending lumpy mail to them every 2 weeks with education-based marketing and follow-up calls, getting their attention with things like Rubik's Cubes with a headline, "Puzzled about how to double or triple employee productivity." Okay. And Chet would use education-based marketing to educate prospects in the texts of the mailer. So it is super important that you actually are an expert in your field, right? He actually knew what he was talking about, and he really could educate these buyers. So that's a super important piece that you can't just overlook, okay? So since these were some of the biggest buyers in the market, the first 4 months of intensive marketing and selling brought no sales. 0 sales in the first 4 months of doing this. But Chet had some pig-headed discipline, and I'm sure you can imagine what his coworkers were thinking of his strategy, but he continued in the faces of all adversity. And in his 5th month, he ended up closing his first deal, and it was Xerox. The deal was the biggest deal the industry had ever seen. The next 5 months, he closed 28 more deals. And Chet went on to double the sales volume of the company 3 years running. Incredible feat. And so now I want to talk about specific differences between a tactic and a strategy, because it's super important. A tactic is a method or technique used to achieve an immediate or short-term gain. Things like making a trade or getting on a sales call to make a sale, right? Those are tactical moves. A strategy is a carefully defined and detailed plan to achieve a long-term goal. In business, a strategy is the overall impact you want your business to have or the ultimate position you want to achieve in the market. Either one of those. Okay. And these percentage numbers are from his book. In his experience, he noticed that most of the executives that he saw were tactical executives. And only about 9% of the executives he saw were strategic executives. And he noticed there was about 1% of executives that were both tactical and strategic. And those were obviously the best executives because they had the big picture and they could also do the groundwork. So that's the strategy and tactical moves. Now let's get into the billionaire power moves. Okay, so this methodology for day planning is from Charlie Munger, the billionaire who hired Chet Holmes, and I got word of it through Ultimate Sales Machine, the book. And it's important that you sit down and take some time to plan out your time. I suppose you can do this at the end of the day for tomorrow. However, I recommend this activity for the first thing in the morning. It's 7 steps, and I don't like putting this much information on a slide, but because it's all kind of one thing, I just threw it all up there. Okay, so here's how to plan your day like a billionaire. You want to list out 6 to 12 important things that you can do today, kind of like a to-do list. And then you want to label the most important thing that you must do today. And then you can pick out 6 other things that you think you can accomplish in the time allotted. Then you can rank these items in terms of priority, assign durations to these activities, match the durations to the specific time slots in your day. Meetings with clients, obviously, some things can't move, and some activities you'll see makes sense to do ahead of other activities. And then you want to focus on completing the most important task early, or ideally first if possible. Okay? And then here's the breakdown with time allotted for each section too, okay? And worded slightly differently. So you want to brainstorm the things you want to accomplish today. I would spend the majority of your 30 minutes or however often or however much time you devote to this. I would spend a solid 15 minutes of actually thinking of what you need to do today. And then secondly, you decide the most important thing. That shouldn't take very long, deciding the most important thing. Choosing the 6 tasks to accomplish today, that might take 5 minutes or so. Prioritize the items, that might take a couple minutes. Assign the durations to each task, and make sure it adds up to no more than 8 hours, right? I guess you can go up to 10 if you really feel like hitting it hard that day, but I would keep it to 8 hours. Leave some time in there for other things. You assign time slots for each activity, and that might take 5 minutes as well. And then you want to do the most important thing early or first. So that's how you can plan your day like a billionaire. I highly suggest you use this method. If you commit to identifying, prioritizing, scheduling, and following through these tasks, you're going to be amazed as to how much you can accomplish in the same amount of time. This planning process should take you about a half an hour to a full hour. And in my experience, it will save you an hour or more, and you will accomplish much more than you ever thought possible. Every minute you spend on this could pay off big during your daily events. Plan your day and guard the time slots as if they are the president and you are the Secret Service. And there's a planning strategy resource that we have. I made it a Google Drive doc, so I'm just going to click on to show you. But yeah, this is day planning activity. So name, company, date, you want to date everything. I like to plan my days in my record book so they're all in one spot and I can easily flip back and look to see. But the sheet can be useful too if you want to take that. Okay. And that's it for Billionaire Power Moves. Now we're going to talk about time management. And the big idea here is don't waste any time ever. You should always be filling the gaps with something useful. And that's much different than always being busy. That's not what I'm saying. Everyone can't work all the time. That's how you burn out. You need solid relaxation time as well, and that should be part of a healthy routine. Relaxing time is not time wasted. Wasted time is when you're waiting on others for something, or you're waiting in line at the post office, or you're waiting for a table at a restaurant, right? You can always be doing something, but often it's not obvious what that is. It helps to have a waste no time mindset already embedded in your subconscious. That way, you start lining things up to do when you're waiting on others or if other plans fall through. With that mindset that you can always be doing something, you're bound to find more things to do when you are trying to work, and there will be virtually no downtime. It amazes me when something happens at work, servers go down, fire drill, whatever, most people just stop working. I rarely have downtime, even with things like that, because I generally have other things lined up, even if it's just thinking about a new idea. And when you're super intentional about working, when you're set to work, you'll find the time you spend trying to relax becomes easier because you're more focused on relaxing and gaining the full benefits of rest. In Chapter 4, The 4-Minute Work Week, Master Your Operations, I write about 52 time-saving ideas. I pulled out these ideas and saved them in the resources section under this day for you, for your reference, in case you want to check that out. And so here's the recap. We covered strategy versus tactics. We talked about how you can use some billionaire power moves to plan your day. Then we talked about some time management techniques. And overall, in planning, we're going to come full circle here. Really, you just want to be making measurable progress in a reasonable amount of time. Back to Jim Rohn's big philosophy, that big idea of the first day, that you can change it all. You have the power to change it all. Okay? You have the tools. You have the resources now. And it's up to you. If it's meant to be, it's up to me, right? Keep saying that to yourself. And the action item for today is to read the 52 time savings ideas document in the resources section. And that's it for planning strategy. Congratulations on finishing week 1. I will see you all in week 2. Super excited about it. And I'll see you then.